Well, the interesting thing is that people like me always used to be rude about the Italians for their degree of political volatility. But what seems to have happened is that Britain has become more like Italy, and Italy has become more like Britain, with Giorgia Meloni now holding on to power quite solidly. I think when you look at Starmer, a lot of people, me included, thought that he knew exactly what to do. He came in, it seemed, with a very efficient campaign. He seemed to be heading towards being a kind of Blair Part 2. He seemed to be friendly to business, especially with his Chancellor, Rachel Reeves. And really, I think it shows two things. One is that Britain is much harder to govern than it was before Brexit, certainly. And secondly, but it wasn't just that. I think he just didn't come in with an idea about what exactly he was going to do. He was quite sure-footed overseas in terms of foreign policy. I think he handled Donald Trump on the whole relatively well, although Trump made a predictably catty comment about him yesterday. But on the whole, he did that quite well. But at home, he always seemed at sea. He got into trouble almost immediately with a rather silly thing to do with kind of clothing expenses. He then did this thing to do with pensioners and the winter fuel pavement, which sounds like something rather archaic, but effectively is a way to help people keep warmer in the winter. That kind of blew up. But on the other hand, him and especially Rachel Reeves really did quite a lot of damage to the idea that this new version of the Labour Party was something to get on with business. So he ended up losing on both sides. And suddenly in between this, he started being kind of outsmarted by his own MPs. Normally, when you come in with a massive majority, that should be a sign of strength. But in a strange way, that sheer number gave people room to rebel when they wanted to, and that made it very difficult. So yes, it does show that Britain is very hard to govern, but I think most people would admit that Starmer he certainly didn't govern as well as he campaigned to become Prime Minister.
And do you think that Andy Burnham, will he be seen as a continuity candidate or a change candidate? I'm just thinking of what the biggest policy differences we could see under a potentially Burnham premiership.
That's a really good question. The answer is we don't know. He's emerging with something that people talk about Manchesterism, and it's a bit like an American governor coming into the White House, where people try desperately to work out, what they did in Texas or what they did in California, and then trying to work out how they could apply that to the federal government. With one massive difference is that, that when you become president, you have to go through lots of campaigns and things. In this case, kind of the basic starting point is Andy Burnham has been a successful mayor of Manchester. He's had quite a long career in the Labour Party, and he's enormously more popular than Keir Starmer, so let's give him a go. But nobody, as you pointed out, really knows exactly what he thinks. To the left, he's saying, look, I want to take, people talk about the way he sort of nationalised the buses in Manchester. To the right, when people talk about Manchesterism, it's really about doing quite a lot of things with business and working out how to kind of boost growth in that way. And that, again, has been something that Starmer has not been good at. So at the moment, he is a kind of blank slate, which works brilliantly if you're running to be something, because everyone can paint their hopes, dreams, fantasies on you and think that you're going to be all these things at the same time. But at this precise moment, what he really needs is a plan and a direction, and then to say, look, we're going in this way. And he really needs to bring the kind of parliamentary party behind him.